To a trio of Oscar nominees that you'll want to spend some time with. One of this year's breakout films was Poor Things, a reimagining of the classic Frankenstein flipped into a feminist fantasy coming of age, all set in a fantastical world. The film earned 11 Oscar nods, including Best Picture, Best Actress in a Leading Role for Emma Stone, Best Supporting Actor for Mark Ruffalo, and Best Adapted Screenplay for writer Tony McNamara. In our road to the Oscars, I sat down with the three to talk about the boundary-busting movie and just how unique the filming experience was for them all.
This is Bella. Bella, this is Mr. McCandles.
Hello, Bella.
Emma, let's start with you. You have talked about Bella Baxter as probably the greatest character you'll ever get to play. How so?
She's just not comparable to anyone because she doesn't have a history. She's discovering the world in a brand new way every second of every day.
I am Bella Baxter, and there is a world to enjoy, circumnavigate.
She's so special. I don't know that I'll ever get a chance to play someone that doesn't have shame and doesn't have self-judgment. It's just so free.
And Mark, we don't often see you in a villain role. One writer put it that it's the extremely punchable Duncan. What did you think about taking on that kind of villain?
I just found it to be incredibly freeing and light and a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
You're always reading now, Bella. You're losing some of your adorable way of speaking.
Unlike any role you've ever played.
Totally, completely unlike anything I'd ever done. And I think in a lot of ways, a role that a lot of people thought was surprising. That's really delightful to have that at the latter half of a career, to be able to have people who believe in you to do something you've never done.
And you've talked about Bella's role in the way of a growth of a tree. When you first read the script, what were you envisioning of her character?
I didn't know how any of it was going to be. I loved the journey of it, and I loved that there was this woman who was sort of in a 38-year-old woman's body, but a child who has no conditioning as a woman and just goes through her life free of all that conditioning. That sort of dictates who we're supposed to. What am I doing?
It's just every time you say how old Bella is, like in a number, you age her up. Like at first you were like in a 30-year-old woman's body, and then like a month goes by and you're like 32, and then you're like 35, and now she's 38. Like, I'm 35 right now, but I guess Bella's 38 now. Even though this was 2 years ago when we made it. But it's fine. It's
She's
just
aging
funny.
like Benjamin Button.
She's aged by 8 years since you started doing interviews.
And Tony, when I first sat down, I saw the movie really early before there was any real thought about, whether this was going to be an Oscar nominee. And I didn't know much about the movie. And I couldn't decide at first, is this a comedy? Is this like a really dark movie? And how did you go about bringing all these genres together?
I think it was just that was the trick of the whole piece from the start. It was dark because it had this premise, but it was also sort of Frankenstein.
This is Bella. She's an experiment.
It was a coming-of-age movie and a comedy, but it was a satire about men and control, but it was also basically about this wonderful character who just threw herself at life without any of society's fingerprints on her, and she would just experience things as she experienced them. So I think it was like knowing all those pieces and just kind of try and make it unified.
Emma, when you won your Oscar a few years back, you talked about how there was still so much that you needed to learn. How do you think getting that first win under your belt has changed you as an actor?
I still feel very much like I have a lot of learning and growing and work to do. So it's been really exciting and lucky to be able to kind of, try things and to take chances. And also, as an actor, you learn really early on that everything is sort of temporary and fleeting. A career goes in many ebbs and flows, and you're not always going to get the opportunities that you get in a certain time period. So I know that this is a very wonderful time period to be able to make choices, because that's really not always the case.
How is this movie unlike anything else you've ever done?
I think it is unlike anything else because I think the style of it and Yorgos's vision for it was so different, and it always felt like it was a unique piece with unique characters. So for me, it was
adaptation.
And my first time I've ever adapted a book. So in that way, it was like a whole new world in a way, and cinematically, it was like it felt like we were doing something quite different.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.